Good evening, everyone. Porter Hayes here, and welcome to another edition of the Hog Talk podcast presented to you by Sterling Soap Studios. Riding solo tonight, and this is another episode, part of the Believe in Buzz Radio Network. Coming to you live, all shows are presented to Arkansas Brewing Company in downtown Ozark. I am Porter Hayes. Adam Hall is off tonight. We have a loaded show, a lot to talk about, so be sure to hit that like, subscribe button to join in on the conversation. Oh, yes. Thank you, Transplanted Texan. You're back on the broadcast. So, riding solo tonight, we got a lot of things. The big news of the day, of course, we got KJ Jackson. He was named QB1 heading into, we talked to Hutch on Friday. Pretty much the practices are closed. They're getting ready for North Alabama. So it was really important that you had your QB1 named so they could continue to develop him, get him confident and ready for game one. We'll discuss that here in a minute. Also, want to get your thoughts on Jerry Jones, Bill Clinton being the big surprise guest for the Little Rock Touchdown Club at Simmons Bank Arena. Is that the draw? Is that who you thought? Did you think Bill Clinton would be involved with that? Of course, a lot of people would know Jerry Jones, but would love to get the thoughts and the comments and about your thoughts about Bill Clinton being involved in that as well. Baseball reseating, that was a very touchy subject. I think we'll lead off with that because just how touchy it was to half the fan base. And then, of course, the big news we could talk into is just my opinion, it might be in the minority that all this flack that LSU is getting in to with the NFL players coming back from NFL training camp to go into back to college. So we'll start off with that. Get your thoughts on it. LSU, of course, look, they're the villains right now. LSU between Will Wade, Kim Mulkey, Lane Kiffin, they are doing what they want to do, and they are winning right now. They want to piss everybody off. They want to be that villain, and that's what they're going to do. But they are also putting a target on their back, and I really hope, because look, everybody's boasting about them now. You got all those people in Louisiana right now chanting they got the best of everything. Well, they better start winning national championships, and I guarantee you, they don't make the college football playoff this year, they're going to catch some hell for that, because they're going to catch the fact that they're doing all of this and it's just for show. It's almost like let's see what they can do. If they make the college football playoff year one and they really make everybody eat crow on this, then they're going to win. But if they don't make the college football playoff this year with everything they've caused, and you go to basketball with Will Wade, if they don't make the tournament or they don't win a game in the tournament, all that is going to do is add fuel to the fire, and they will be the I told you so, is the laughing stock of the SEC. They've put that standard, and they can come back and they can, open the Diet Coke. They can come back and be like, haha, everybody hates us. Well, yeah, we kind of do. But here's where I come in, but can we blame them? I know the SEC's come out with their statement. The Big Ten has come out with their laws they're passing to keep this from happening. But all in all, this is the same thing we went through with basketball in Alabama. We didn't like it. They didn't like Bediako, but in the essence of at the time, they weren't breaking any rules. So they went with who they could. And till he's ruled ineligible, then guess what? I mean, he promised, Nate Oates. I don't know who's worse right now. Nate Oates, Lane Kiffin, Will Wade. I don't know who's worse on this totem pole right now of most hated coaches. But it's the exact same thing that Nate Oates did with the Alabama basketball team. And when you look at LSU, I think they'll never admit this, but they don't care if these guys play or don't play. They're doing this for show. This is Lane Kiffin. He'll reel you in and thinking he's changed, and he's changed. He hasn't changed. He won't change. But why should he? I'm not dogging. When I say he won't change, I'm not dogging it, because Arkansas just got a guy from Liberty today. Everybody's going to start doing this. until it is ruled that you can't do it. And you can't blame them if they're going to get a guy, because in all reality, let's take the emotions away from it. Yes, we're pissed because he was technically in a training camp. He signed a contract, never played in an NFL game. Yes, he wore an NFL jersey, but that's no different than going to a G League and then coming back to college basketball. It's the same thing. Training camp, you're not playing in a real game. Whether it's right or wrong or how you feel about it, hey, that's for the judges to decide, and that's where the SEC comes into play. Everybody's talking about this statement that the SEC put out. We'll do something about it. NCAA, do something about it, because now you're in a position to where you're allowing this. If you had rules in place, this would not happen. And I think that's the biggest thing. We're seeing this in other sports. They are making you make a move. They're doing moves that's getting everybody in an uproar, but they're making you make a move. That's all there is to it. And until the NCAA grows a pair, until the SEC grows a pair and really stands on it, other than just putting out blanket statements, this is what we're going to get. This is going to be the new college football. And as much as I've disagreed with how he left college football and how I felt at sometimes that Nick Saban, as soon as the ball wasn't in his court, he left. I mean, he's kind of right. So it's almost the fact that, guys, we need to look at it like this. Everybody has said we would do X, Y, and Z for a national championship. We would do X, Y, and Z to compete in the NCAA. We would do X, Y, and Z and compete in the SEC. Well, what if X, Y, and Z is what's going on right now? Are y'all willing to do that? Morals, and look, we could throw morals out the way. We can throw integrity out of the game. None of that matters anymore. When the NCAA made this a business and they got in bed with the devil and they were like, this is going to be a business, you have, and you let corporate America, you let NIL get involved. Now you have to, this is the bed we've made. We wanted this NIL. We wanted the players to get paid, and rightfully so. But there's pros and cons to everything. So on one hand, what do we want? Do we want a semi-pro college football and college basketball, or do we want it to go back to where it was? It's at the point where we cross the line where it can't be both anymore. So what do we want to happen? So, and right here, the lines have been erased, not blurred. Now the PTB are trying to draw the lines in the sand while the wind is blowing. Absolutely. But I did forget one thing before we get started on, continue on with this topic. I do have to announce we do have a new sponsor, and it is Dodgett Freightliner Van Buren. I really want to appreciate GM Sean Smith for coming on as a proud sponsor of the Hog Talk podcast. We're going to do something special for them. Cannot announce it yet. We're going to wait until I will do an announcement next week on Sunday's show. What's coming with that? It's going to coincide with what we got going on with Resident News Network, more of a frequently show. So Dodgett Freightliner, Van Buren, Arkansas, Sean Smith, the GM, thank you so much for being a proud supporter of the Hog Talk podcast. They are the new sponsor of the Hog Talk podcast. So definitely go check them out. But moving on to what we were talking about, the topic of what's going on with the state of college football, college basketball. As much as you want to like or hate what's going on with Lane Kiffin and Will Wade, until they're told to stop, they're going to keep doing this. And we have to deal with it, guys. We have to deal with it. You know, this whole college football thing is evolving so fast that, and lawyers are having to, I mean, you're checking bylaws, and you have the NCAA, and then you have the SEC, you have conferences, and then the NCAA, all playing by different rules. And until they get on the same page, this is what's going to happen. And And now Arkansas is in the same boat. They picked up a new safety. The biggest concern I have is this, and this was a big topic that was brought up on the radio today. I believe it's halftime today. You got somebody who has worked their tail off all summer long, worked his way up the depth chart, and now he is starting, and 2 weeks out, he is set to start. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen, so hear me out. I'm just throwing a scenario out there. What do we do if there's a starting safety who has worked his tail off, and now you bring this safety in from Liberty, comes in and just immediately takes his spot? Now, no bearing on if this kid's better than him. This is not the point I'm making. If he's better, he'll play, whatever. What does that do to the locker room? How many teams have we had at Arkansas that have been destroyed by the locker room or the coaching staff? They've been destroyed by means outside of the playing field. It's happened more times than you can think. So until somebody steps up and we really make these, no gray areas. There can't be gray areas. You got to make these laws and you have to make these rules. This is what we're going to get. And I'm afraid that this is a train that is moving too fast that we can't stop. So you have to get on the train. You whatever Lane train, Ryan Silverfield train, whatever train you want to call it, we got to get on the train until we're told. Now, the biggest thing is this too. Another aspect is you allow these players to play. They're on the field. You get to be rolling. And then all of a sudden they reverse everything. And now they're told they can't play. So what is it? Was it worth the gamble that, yes, you're 4-0, you're sitting number 6 in the country. LSU's a top 10 team. Well, now you just lost 5 of your starting linemen, which I believe something's going to happen where this thing isn't going to work out with the players. The something is going to happen to where players are not going to be able to play the full season. I don't see that happening. Now, if that ends up being the case, they do, hey, whatever. I just don't see this thing lasting a full season. So then what happens? What happens to that team dynamic? What happens to if LSU's on a roll and they lose 3 key players? But to me, it's like, hey, that's a gamble you took. You have to accept the consequences. And to me, it's like, well, you know what? You're boasting and you're saying, well, we're going to do this and other teams are doing it, so we're going to do it. Well, you know what? It bit you in the butt. And now you have to face, and nobody's going to have any sympathy for you. We won't. Mine's petty reasons, but, so is a lot of other Razorback fans. Just like if Arkansas signs this guy from Liberty, he's doing really well, 3-4 interceptions, and then all of a sudden he gets kicked off the team or he is no longer eligible to play, and then it hurts the defense. That's the gamble you took. That's the risk you took when you allowed him to be on that field. Now, it goes both ways. If it makes you have a better defense and you get to go to a bowl game because of it, hey, that's awesome. But you got to know what you're getting yourself into just in case the tides turn and they overrule all of this, which I think it's going to go the same way it did in basketball. They're going to get overruled and they're going to lose these players. To Arkansas, it would matter, but to Lane Kiffin, he don't care. He don't care about his players. He don't care about anything but himself. But that's what they wanted LSU. They want to be the villains. They want to be this 3-headed snake like you have on Lion King or whatever, that's what they want to be. And they're all selfish. So if they win with it, you live and die by the sword. And so if this happens to be and they lose, hey, told you so. We knew this was going to happen. We know this is a bad idea. So all these people down in LSU ranting and raving like we're going to win it all. We got all this, we got all that. Well, you better hope you back it up, because you've yet to make it since 2019 and you're putting a big target on your back. You're acting like this big bad team, but you didn't even make the college football playoff with a Heisman Trophy quarterback since Joe Burrow. So be ready for the consequences of it, because that's what it's going to be. but it also takes away from the limelight of the ones that have killed it all summer, worked their way through summer camp to watch somebody come in from that failed to make the roster or failed to make that 53-man cut. And now all of a sudden they just get to come have their college days back and they'll make more money. Mind you, they'll make more money. And that's another thing that's crazy is they'll make more money. And that's a big draw. Well, I'm going to go try to make an NFL camp. I know now that if I don't make the NFL team, I'll just go back to college and make twice as much. So that's the way it is. Pretty dumb when they make more in college than pro. That's why Arch didn't go pro, because he can make absolutely. But again, it might be dumb, and I'm not saying you're right or wrong, Brady. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. But if you were that player, would you want to stay in college another year and make 4 or 5 million? Or do you, and in the perfect example, you bring up Arch Manning, and I'm not comparing Arch Manning because I don't know how he'll do in the pro league. But look at yours. Look at Quinn. Was it Ohio State? Then he went to Texas. Then look at him. Look at Diego Pavia. Made all this money in Vanderbilt. Rose them from the ashes. Was a Heisman Trophy candidate. Didn't even make an NFL team. So what is this? What precedent is this going to set when we're talking about these G leaguers, these NFL training camp guys that don't make it? They're going to come back to college and play to make more money because that's the standard that is set. And well, hold on. And I'll say to that, okay, so Brady, let's say they do make a cap at a rookie contract amount. So you're saying on the college level, they should make a cap. So I get that, but man, that would be so hard to do. That would be very, very, very hard to do because, I mean, I don't know how that would be possible to do on a said player because, I mean, you're going to run into the same situation is I know I'm better than him. I don't know. Then they'll start doing, and if they need to go back to doing under the table stuff or bonuses or whatever, I mean, you got kids now. I mean, talk about this, Lenore Sellers, whether it's right or wrong. I'm just bringing him up. He's basically just interning at a driving range and gets to play college football. So in essence, even if they're on a college campus, they're not going to class. So what does it matter in the end? They're still eligible. They're still getting to play. So I'll say run with it. I say we just watch this thing just burst in flames. But for the time being, let's see what kind of exciting football we can get out of it. So let's see if Arkansas can do enough to use this type of thing for their advantage and build a program. And that leads us to this next point. How does this affect Ryan Silverfield? How big of a hill does he have to climb? What are your expectations for Ryan Silverfield year one? The only knock I have against him, I'm not thrilled by these catchphrases, which I know everybody has to have one, but of course you see, I've said many times about, the all in that was stolen from Dabo and Clemson. So there was strike one. And then guys, I've been on the road today. So it's like, this embrace the heart. Whoever let him run with that. Come on, guys at Arkansas. Are we really letting him run with embrace the heart? I mean, we got to get better. We got to come up with a better slogan because I don't see anybody putting that on t-shirts, embrace the heart, unless it's a said company or what. But everything else, I'm giving the man a chance. I'm going to give him a chance to come in. He sounds like he's wanting to welcome in all the alumni. He's wanting to welcome in all the people from the past, which that is a great start. And I'll say this. If he can come in and build a foundation and show that he is going to improve, don't try to be a world leader year one and build a program like he's going to be here for 6, 7, 8, 10 years, whatever. That was not pun intended. Sorry. I didn't mean to do the 6, 7. If he could show that he's willing to make strides, build a program, set his foundation. So if they win 4 games this year, but yet you're still showing that you're improving this program, I will take that all day, every day, and build from that, because that's what we need. We need a program. We don't need, Sam Pittman come in and had a great year with some super seniors, and then look what happened. It's the thing that we want to build success. And I know I keep picking on LSU, but back in 2019, they sold their soul to the devil, and they brought in NFL coordinators, and they brought in all this talent. They had the best. I'll say it. I mean, you can rival now. If you want to say Miami of 01, okay, but let's just say one of the best college football teams of all time. 2019 by far was one of the best college football teams of all time. But that's what you got. Now what happened afterwards? They haven't done hardly anything since. So do you want 1 year success, or do you want to try to really build a program? You go to Ohio State. Yes, they have the best team that money could buy. Texas Tech, best team money, but what has it gotten them? Then look at Indiana. They really set the bar. Kirk Cignetti, year 1, college football playoff. Year 2, national championship. I just hope that they don't put that kind of pressure on Ryan Silverfield. He didn't have a full star-studded team coming over from James Madison to help him out and build something. He's got the same tendencies. He's got the same attitude, but you're playing in a bigger conference. They have a schedule. Me and Adam, when we come back on next week, we're going to break down this schedule. I've said it before. This is a favorable schedule. I'm not saying they're going to win 6 games, but if you are wanting a schedule to build your program around and build something and shock the world and maybe beat a couple of teams, this is the year to do it. Because you have a couple of rough games to begin the season. You have a break there in the middle where that 4-game stretch where you can win 3 of 4 outside of the Missouri game. And then even if you do finish off losing the next 2 to LSU and Texas, hey, man, you're on to something. Build from that success. And look, maybe so. But do you want the high-powered offense that Bobby had with his attitude and not getting along with the defensive coordinator, or build a foundation of a staff that can work together? Because they clearly wasn't working together, and we seen it. We seen what happened with that. Bobby Petrino, everybody's ranting and raving, wanting him to be the head coach. You would be setting yourself backwards if you made him the head coach. That's been proven. He's had his chance. He has not won successfully, consistently anywhere else. He had his great run at Arkansas, and we see how that unfolded. But what's he done since then? He too had a Heisman Trophy quarterback at Louisville and could not, in the ACC, mind you. And look, I ride or die with the ACC. I'll stand by him, but I'm a realist too. He couldn't even win the ACC with a Heisman Trophy quarterback. So it's a lot different. 15. I mean, you got to look back too. That's a long time from 2010, 2011, 2012. I mean, there's a long time has passed in college football. It's like this right here. The expectation of Silverfield is to be a real bridge, higher like Sam was supposed to be. I get that. Yeah, that's true. That, you want him to come in, and I don't want to say Eric Musselman, because I think even Eric Musselman exceeded our expectations with what he did. He got us. I mean, if you want to be honest, he's gotten us further than what Cal has, but I mean, Cal's building something special. So we'll see. That's yet to be seen what Cal's going to do. But you have to run this like a NFL program now. Let's cut the crap. These are farm teams. These are semi-pro teams. Let's just stop with this whole amateurism. They're getting paid. They're if you want to go to the G League and you can't cut it, or not the G League, if you want to go to rookie camp and you can't cut it, come back to college football. That's what we're headed in, because people are making money. So you can say that, well, they're NCAA technically, but I mean, all in all, it's minor league football, guys. And when you cut to the core of it and you take the rose-colored glasses off of it, NFL football is talked year round. NFL is a very popular sport. I mean, you got the Dallas Cowboys. They're one of the most popular pro franchises in all of sports, but they haven't been to the playoffs or won a Super Bowl since '95. So yeah, Sam came after games and didn't know what to do. I don't see Ryan Silverfield saying that. I have seen the press conferences with Cramsey, Roberts, Ryan Silverfield. The whole thing at at Little Rock Touchdown Club. Look, he is being a complete. That's his one time to go to Central Arkansas and be a salesman. That is one of your big fundraising moments is when you go down to Little Rock Touchdown Club and fundraise. And that is another reason why that I was very disappointed that Hunter Yurchek didn't go down there, because that put your ego aside, homeboy. Go down in there and still ride with your team. You were talking about one Razorback. Still go down there. If you don't care about us, you don't care about what we say or think about you, you still got a job to do. You still got to go down there and represent your university. You are the leader of this university. And if you're too scared to go down there or you don't think it's worth it, well, it's a lose-lose situation anyway. Well, hell, why is Arkansas playing football when they're 2-10? It's a lose situation. We're playing LSU. Why play? That is the standard you're setting for your program, sir. If it's too hard, quit. We have the hardest schedule in the SEC. We shouldn't even play this year. That's the message you're sending to the football team. That is what the message that you're sending to Ryan Silverfield year one. And that's a year release from saying you didn't set your previous coach up for success. A lot of underlining things. And we'll say this before we head to a break. That's why that pisses me off when so many people will still want to ride with this guy. There's those guys, friends of mine, had a back and forth with a gentleman the other night. That it baffles me all the times he keeps failing this university. We'll lead second segment off with a topic that I'll end with. We have these people that are so scared of losing their access. They're so used to, they're having their privilege moments at the U of A. And I think that's what it is. Look, and I will say this. I'm sorry, my tone for that. I mean it in a serious way. I really think some of these people are so scared of Hunter Yurchek and people losing access and what they have built and the fandom they've donated money to for years, because we're seeing it with the baseball reseating. Seeing people 20 years. I talked to a group, put it down on Twitter. I talked to a group of people from Ozark in my hometown. They've been season ticket holders for 20 plus years. And they are seriously done with it because they're getting their seats away. And then you got people on there. Everybody should have a fair shake. Life ain't fair. And if you're for 20 plus years giving your money diligently, dealing with, yes, it is a successful program, but I'm saying year after year, even through the bad years, you're still giving your money. If you're a football ticket holder and through all the bad years, you're still giving your money the same amount to have the same seats. Look, you had a head start on all this fundraising. You had ways to make more money. Don't keep on putting it on the fans. Don't give Dave Van Horn a raise and then make the fans pay for it. That is supposedly what this all-in fund's for. That is supposedly what all this money that's going to the Razorback Foundation is going for. And guess what? We can't FOIA it. So you're raising ticket prices, you're reseating the baseball, and the fans are still paying for it, but where is the money going? And this is a tough right here, because that's doing a disservice to Dave Van Horn, a man who has dedicated most of his life to the University of Arkansas baseball program. If any coach deserves a national championship more than I can't, there's maybe a very few that I think that deserve a national championship more than Dave Van Horn. I know we can boycott, we can do this and we can do that, but don't give in. Baseball, I think that you would be hurting Dave Van Horn more than you'd be hurting that a man that doesn't care that would probably be on the outs a year from now. and Dave Van Horn's going to be here through 31. But what we're going to do, hold that thought, guys. We are on a great topic. So let's hold that thought. I want to take time to thank our sponsors. We got a new one in Doggett Freightliner. Also, locally, my people in Ozark, 479 Health and Aesthetics joined the lineup. And in Charleston, 965 Spirits, working on their logos and getting all the contracts ready for that. But we do have a lot of new sponsors coming into this football season. With our partnership with Resident News Network, we're going to be doing high school stuff. We're going to be really bringing the audience, and I want to thank all of them for tuning in over on RNN. Greatly appreciated to have that partnership. But we're going to take a quick 3-minute break to hear a word from our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to dive right back into this baseball topic.
Searching for premium brewery products that will take your daily routine to the next level? Look no further than Sterling Soap Company. Our handmade soaps, aftershaves, and balms are made with only the finest ingredients that give you the ultimate grooming experience. With a variety of scents to choose from, there's something for everyone. Plus, our products are crafted in small batches to ensure the highest level of quality. So why wait? Visit www.sterlingsoap.com or visit our retail store at 16 West Walnut Street in Paris, Arkansas. Shop our collection and discover the difference for yourself. Upgrade your grooming routine with Sterling Soap Company. Are you looking for a place to grab a cold drink and some delicious food? Look no further than Arkansas Brewing Company. Located at 201 South 1st Street in beautiful downtown Ozark, our establishment offers a wide selection of craft beers and tasty eats. But what sets us apart is our welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. At Arkansas Brewing Company, you'll always feel like part of the family. So visit Destiny and Christopher Brockett and staff today and see for yourself what makes us the go-to spot for locals and visitors alike. Arkansas Brewing Company, come for the drinks and stay for the friends. Attention DIYers and home improvement enthusiasts. Are you searching for the right tools and supplies to tackle your next project? Look no further than Mentor's Hardware Store. With locations in Ozark, Alma, and Clarksville, our vast selection of hardware and building materials is sure to have everything you need, whether you're fixing a leaky faucet or building a new deck. Plus, our knowledgeable staff is always on hand to offer expert advice and guidance. And with our competitive prices and convenient online ordering, Mentor's Hardware Store is your one-stop shop for all your DIY needs. Visit us today and let's build something amazing together.
Are you looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than ATU Ozark Campus. As a 2-year satellite campus of Arkansas Tech University, we're dedicated to a quality workforce education, industry partnerships for in-demand jobs, and tailored paths for success. Our programs are led by industry professionals. Whether it's a certificate or you're aiming for a graduate degree, ATU Ozark has you covered. Visit our website at www.atu.edu/Ozark or contact us at 479-667-2117. Your future begins here. Welcome to Ozark Area Chamber of Commerce, where our mission is simple: encourage, promote, and aid an enduring environment of shared economic opportunity and civic development for the Ozark, Arkansas area. Whether you're a local business owner or a resident, we've got something for you. Shop our unique local businesses, explore the beauty of Ozark, and savor local flavors and find cozy accommodations. Join us in building a stronger community, and to learn more, contact us at 479-667-2525. Remember, together we thrive.
And welcome back to the Hog Podcast. Transplant Texan, I got you, man. You said during the break you're missing Adam for the Razorback raffle. Okay. So this is no dig at soccer. Hey, I mean, love the soccer team. We support all women's sports here at the Hog Talk Podcast. Wearing my Jaden Wills softball shirt. NIL store. Look, okay. I'm sorry you got a co-host with ADHD. Got to deal with that. Go to the NIL store, nilstore.com. Put your promo code HAWG. Get 15% on all. They named KJ Jackson the starter. You can get your KJ Jackson shirt, jersey, any kind of NIL store, hog, apparel. But here's the downfall. It has to be a player that is signed with. It's not every single player. So you'll go to NIL store, pick Arkansas, and pick your favorite player and buy your merch today. But here you go. Drum roll, please. $1,611 is the estimated prize. So $1,600 went to the Razorback Foundation, and $1,600 went to the lucky winner. Another point, when I went on this back and forth with this gentleman about the Razorback Foundation and NIL, he was wanting proof and proof and proof. Prove me this and prove me that. Prove me that you're right. Everything that goes into the Razorback Foundation cannot legally go to NIL. So guess what? All in fund, $30 million. None of it can go to NIL. Razorback raffle. I mean, I know they're missing that. They're hard up for that $1,600, but leave it be. None of that can go to NIL. That is where the frustration lies, is there is opportunities where some of this money could go to NIL and it's not. And what I understand, you want to build your business, but if you don't have the players for your business, if you don't have the managers for your business, you don't have the freaking customers for your business is not going to thrive. That's business 101. You could put $20 million into this store in this storefront, but if your product sucks, you don't have the product in the store, or you don't have enough product, you don't have the depth to win in the SEC, guess where they're going to go? They're going to go elsewhere. And that's where we're at, people. That's where we're at with Hunter Yurchek. And it's sad that, it's easy to pump your chest and say you've done all of this stuff for the University of Arkansas, which is true. You have naming rights, all this, but you've outsourced everything. So, you want the credit, but it's like I'm doing the homework for you and you're turning it in for an A. That's what we have with our athletic director right now. And until we get away from that, that's the way it's going to be. So that's where my frustration lies with these people that are dying on this hill with Hunter Yurchek. They're dying on this hill of he's going to turn things around. They just don't want to lose their access. They're sunshine pumpers. They don't want to lose their radio show. They don't want to lose their funding. They don't want to lose the access of being employed by the University of Arkansas. So they're going to continue to be the Sunshine Brigade. And here, I'll say this. I'm not above saying that if I was getting funded by the University of Arkansas, I can't sit here and honestly say that I wouldn't do the same thing. I don't know. I've never had that opportunity. But that being said, you're accepting that money, so you have to accept the consequences of that. That's the role you want to lead. If that's the road you want to play with, you got to accept the consequences of the criticism you face. That's why I love being an independent. I can say what I want to say. I don't care. But if you want to sit here and say, because I might think I know everything, or I think I have connections, you start attacking that part of what I do, then we're going to have problems, because I don't ever claim to say that I know, but I don't just come on here and spew stuff either. I don't spew nonsense. I talk about how I truly feel about the state of this program, but I speak for the people. I speak for a majority of the fans. So if you want to start coming at me personally about how my takes are different than yours just because you're the sunshine pumper and you can't see what's really going on, man, that's a you problem. Don't make it a me problem when it's a you problem. I've always tried to be fair to the people who tune into this show every week, and sponsors to this show, and everybody who takes time out of their week to watch us. I try to give them the best I can, but I always stay true to what I believe. We'll never sell out. So that being said, you have those super fans that want to keep riding for Hunter Yurchek, but guess what? You're going to be ride or die for the next one. You're going to be all on their nuts too. That's just what super fans do. They're going to ride or die, and they're going to try to get all the good access they can get. But moving on to Dave Van Horn, moving on to this baseball reseating plan. You want to talk about integrity and honor and one Razorback, but we're going to go after the one fan base that's been the most loyal to this university. Baseball fans are a different breed. You talk about in the football fight song, never yield. The baseball fans are a different breed. They'll never yield on Dave Van Horn. The real fans. You'll tell who the casuals are and the ones that just want to spew nonsense and Dave Van Horn loses a couple of series or he's having a bad year and maybe it's time for Dave Van Horn to head on out. Those are not real fans. I don't care. Y'all, if y'all disagree with that, hey, I'm sorry. That dude's given 20 plus years to this university. And I've said over and over and over again, he's come the closest that you could possibly come to a national championship and not won it. But he stayed true to this university and he loves this state. He loves the baseball program. I don't care if he ever wins a national championship. I don't, because it's not going to change how I feel about that man and what he's done for this Arkansas University. He is holding, in a lot of years, he has held this athletic program on his shoulders, people. When your basketball team was in the drain, your football team was in the drain, he was taking teams to Omaha. He was still the constant. We are quick to forget about that. It's easy to hate on the man when your basketball team's good and you got somebody else to blame. You could sit there and poke at him. He deserves the lifetime contract. He deserves everything he gets. Cal gets to a Final Four or a national championship game, then the same could be said about Cal. But until Cal gets past the Sweet 16, he can't do that for him yet. He's bringing in a lot of stars. Cool. But until he gets past the Sweet 16 or an Elite 8 or Final Four, then we can start talking about that level. But he ain't got there yet. Dave Van Horn's been here long enough. He deserves whatever he asks for. So remember that when your football team's 2-10 and your basketball team does not make the NCAA tournament and this man's still taking your team to a super regional. I'm not going to say Omaha, the super regional. Omaha's the standard for that baseball program. And yeah, he's going to fail at times. He might not make it this year. Hell, I'm sorry, he could go 3 years and not make the NCAA tournament. It is what it is. The football fan base has dealt with this football fans and the football program, and you've had a couple of good years here and there, and we're still riding for it. Understand, football is the bread and butter. They're the fans. You're a fan of the Razorback. That's fine. But you got to show the grace to the baseball program that you show the grace of the basketball and football program. And especially to the man that's been through thick and thin and never wanted to leave. He never come on after a interview and said, I don't know. He's never had any catchy phrases. He's just come out and said, we want to win. We want to win on your field. That's what we get with Dave Van Horn. I love the fact that they gave him a contract extension. If that didn't light a fire under him and he raised the money on himself. I fact checked with people, and this is another thing with that argument I got on with the gentleman. He wants to sit there and say, show me proof that Dave Van Horn done it on his own. I've read the articles where he was forced to raise money for his baseball team. So Dave Van Horn done the legwork. It might have been cleared through the athletic program. The money might have been cleared, but it's sad when you let go of a tennis program and the tennis program people raise more money than you have. Personally, you have. Not outsourced through Learfield. So that's where we are with that in the baseball program. I hate when people dig on a man that's maybe had a couple of bad years when this dude he's paid his dues, people. Dave Van Horn he's untouchable, people. We got to leave him alone. If he decides to have 3 bad years and ride off in the sunset, man, just you let him ride off in the sunset on his own terms because he's deserved it. I don't think he would. And that's the reason why I'm showing him that grace. If this man felt like he couldn't do it anymore and he had 2 bad seasons where he just felt like he could not get to that level, he would pass the torch. He is that humble. I don't think he would let his ego get to him and ride things out. That's how much he loves the state. I don't see in that he would ever do that. Because look how much it's taken him to get to the point where he's still not even highest paid coach in college baseball. He's one of the top, but he's not the highest. But he's sit there. He wants his players to eat. He wants his staff to eat before him. He finally got what he deserved in the raise. But I can confidently say that this man would not leave the University of Arkansas in shambles like Bobby Petrino did. And there's some people who put Bobby Petrino on a higher pedestal than they do Dave Van Horn. That's just the truth. You know, that's where we are with some of the fans. So show him some grace. That's all I'm asking. I mean, that guy deserves everything he's done. When we know the real problem at the University of Arkansas, and that's a new athletic director, we need new guidance. We need somebody new at the top that can run a program, because when you have outsourced and you have all these GMs and we're still having these problems, money's still going to the wrong pockets. You can't fool you nothing what's going on. So we don't even know what's going on with this Razorback Foundation money. Is it truly going to build new facilities? Is it really going to, make the programs better? We don't know, because we can't see where the money's going or how much is coming in. They can say we've got 25 of the $30 million raised. Where's the proof of that? We can't, because you can't fool you. So that being said, moving on, we'll wrap this thing up with football. And KJ Jackson is your starter. He is your QB1 heading into the game against North Alabama. How confident are you in KJ Jackson? Are you confident in this football team to give you, let's just throw it out there. Are you confident that this team can win you 4 games? Because you look at the schedule, and me and Adam will break this down again next week, game by game. But are you confident in this team that they're going to give you 4 wins? Are you confident that they can give you 3 wins? Where are you at from a confidence standpoint that they're going to give you? Here, I'll put it up small right here. How many wins are you confident that the Razorbacks are going to give you this year? Not think. There's a difference between think and wish. How many games are you confident that Arkansas will give you this year? I am confidently saying they'll give you 2 wins. Confidently. That is, you'll have your 2 wins by the end of September. North Alabama and Tulsa. Utah is not, I don't confidently think they're going to go on the road and win in Salt Lake City. I just don't see any way possible they beat Georgia. They just don't, again, they don't have the horses. I'm confident they'll beat Tulsa. But then you get to this stretch. This is the stretch right here that really intrigues me. We don't know anything about these next 2 teams on the schedule in Texas A&M and Tennessee. And that really, now the biggest key is we're going to be in College Station, and you see the time, 2:30 to 7 p.m., that flex schedule. That makes it to where, Texas A&M, the first game, this is home and home in a very long time. In College Station, Kyle Field, one of the best fan bases in all of college sports, no matter what. That's the game. That's one of the games they put on the list that they want to really win and that they've owned. Texas A&M and Missouri have owned you. And they don't see any signs of slowing down on that. And that's the game until you win consistently. Start winning it, maybe 2 wins in a row, or 3 out of 4, 3 out of 5. Not 1 or 2 here and there. Now, I can't give them that game. Tennessee, you've proven that you could beat Tennessee, a really good Tennessee team in Fayetteville, October 10th, 2:37 p.m. So that favors you. You either got a 2:30 game, 3:30, 7 o'clock, 6:30. But then this is the stretch right here. This 4-game stretch will mark it down. This is my lock of the year. This 4-game stretch right here, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Auburn, South Carolina, will depict how this season goes. Not a blowout loss at Georgia. Not even an upset at Tulsa. Not saying that will happen. And not, I didn't say no. Sorry, I misspoke on that one. Not saying a upset at Tulsa, an upset to Tulsa. I don't see it happening. I think Arkansas is too strong for that. But this 4-game stretch, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Auburn, South Carolina, this will be what tells what kind of season you're going to have this year in year one at Ryan Silverfield. Because there is a possibility that you could win 3 of the 4 this. There's a huge possibility you split these, as in, yeah, you might lose to Vandy and Missouri, but you could beat Auburn and South Carolina. You could beat Vandy and South Carolina and lose Missouri and Auburn. I mean, if I was to say, betting man, what would rather happen, 3 or 1 or 2 or 2? I would lean more toward the 2 and 2. But you have an opportunity to go 3 and 1 in this stretch, and you take 3 and 1 in this stretch plus your Tulsa in North Alabama game. There's 5 wins. That's my utmost peak hell yeah type of year of 5 wins. And I know, I'm sorry, that's not that's not what y'all want to hear, 5 wins. But I'm telling you, how many people honestly right now, in this moment, with the state of this Razorback program, how many people would be hell yeah if we won 5 games in year 1 with Ryan Silverfield? I'm one of them. I would be like, hell yeah, let's go. Not bowl eligible for year 1, but you win 5 games, I'd be like, hell yeah, he impressed the hell out of me. He did really good. I would be elated. If they won 5 games and had a chance for a bowl game, I wouldn't even care one way, or, man, we had that game and you lost on a fumble. You won 5 games year 1 with not a lot of talent. You got a quarterback, and you have running backs, but it's not like you had all these super seniors or all this influx of talent. You win 5 games this year, I would want to go up to the University of Arkansas myself, drive up there, and shake Ryan Silverfield's hand. And that's dead ass honest right there. I would love to, because I feel like he would deserve it. He took this program over. We didn't think he's going to win 5 games. I got 2 to 3, 4 max. I'm really looking at 3 and 9. I'm looking at a 3 and 9 year. I think they're going to win North Alabama and Tulsa. I've got to pick. I really feel they're going to sneak in a win some way, somehow. If Ryan Silverfield wants me to be all in, that's where I'm all in. They're going to sneak in another win some way, somehow. They're going to win an SEC game. Just don't know which one. The petty me, the Clemson me inside me, I want y'all to beat the hell out of South Carolina. I want that to be the one win. I don't have a dog in any other fight. If I could pick any win, I'd want you to just rock South Carolina. And in essence of what has happened to Arkansas for so many years is getting a coach run out after a loss. I would want you to be the loss that sends Shane Beamer out of South Carolina. I would love nothing more than that. And that is, hold on, I'm looking over my left hand, so it's the right side of your screen. I'm looking over my left-hand shoulder, and I'm being yes, because I hate South Carolina more than like y'all hate Texas and LSU. That's the game I want. So I can tell a difference. And yes, he still has the coach speak. We still have to really realize that coaches are going to still have the coach speak. They're going to sit there and try to rah-rah. But I feel something different with his demeanor and how he wants to handle this program. I really like the no-nonsense approach with these coordinators. I think you have these 3 guys in this system and you let them build together and you let them build a team. I think they're going to do great things. I know I've mentioned Clemson a lot, but nobody gave Dabo Swinney a chance in hell to win, much less win an ACC championship, much less win a national championship at Clemson. But he built a staff around him and got a Brent Venables from OU. He got a Tony Elliott and a Brent Scott to run his offense. Yes, you want to see who's back there? Chad Morris is back at Clemson, baby. But it would be nothing if Chad Morris rolled into Baton Rouge week 1 and upset the Tigers. I would laugh. I will come on here on the Sunday and I will spend the first 2 minutes of the show laughing at LSU if Clemson rolls in there with Chad Morris and beats them week 1. Would love it. It took Dabo 7 years. Is it in the state of college football right now? Are we giving a coach and a staff 7 years to win a national championship? But you see the progression. It all started, and we're talking about LSU. It all started with that Peach Bowl in LSU and upsetting them with DeAndre Hopkins in that last-minute drive. And you start building belief. If he could keep this core of coordinators around him, and you got these older gentlemen that probably you have them in the right spot to where you're getting coordinators in here that I don't feel are looking for other jobs. And you ride the storm out and you build something around Silverfield, a young head coach and 2 seasoned coordinators, and you build a team and build a staff, you build that continuity. You can handle players and coming in each year and out, but you've got to build that staff. You got to build that triangle of your head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. That is going to be the success of this program. If those 3 guys work together and they build a team around them and then they work together well, they'll start winning at the University of Arkansas. Arkansas is starting to get the money, and if you get the wins, more money will come. If you get the more money, then you're going to get more players. I've said for years, Arkansas and Clemson's programs are very similar. You take out Clemson's 2 national championships in 16 and 18, they are very similar athletic programs on how they've won and how they've had sprinkled success from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. There's always been that belief that they can be something. And I've said that ever since when Chad Morris was named. I had high hopes, but I think a lot of people did. They didn't know that he was going to come in and just totally suck. But some people are meant to be coordinators and not head coaches. Some people feel comfortable being coordinators and head coach. I think that's Bobby Petrino. Bobby Petrino is, in my mind, just let him run the offense. Let him do his job in the offense. I don't think he wants to. He might have the ego of wanting to be a head coach, but he can't handle being a head coach. That's just my opinion. He's a great offensive coordinator. But there's a lot of people that are great defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators. Brent Venables. He's doing really good things at OU. He is proving that he might be that exception to the rule, but I always thought he was a great defensive coordinator. He has a lot of but what happens when that excitement runs out? What happens when he gets older and that excitement and him running back and having the get back coach runs out? Will OU still be successful? Yet to be seen. I want to appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight to the show. I want to thank our new sponsors, Doggett Freightliner, Van Buren, 479 Health and Aesthetics in Ozark, Arkansas, 965 Spirits in Charleston, Arkansas, along with all of our other sponsors. And don't forget, if you have not yet, 2 weeks away from the season, Bet Saracen. Download the app today. Let me pull it up right now. We'll pull up the Bet Saracen app. As of today, let me go to the Arkansas tab. And North Alabama. 62.5 still over under. 41-point favorite. Arkansas is a 41-point favorite. And this is new. The Arkansas-Utah game has moved to an 8-point underdog. Georgia Bulldogs, 16.5 point underdog. Same line there. So download the Bet Saracen app. For the first-time users only, HOG 250, HAWG 250. $25 gets you $250 in free cash, free bets. Can't pass that up. Start betting on the Razorbacks. Start betting on them to win. I have high praise for Ryan Silverfield as a whole. Year 1, let's see how this rolls. He wins 4 games. I will be excited if he wins 4 games. If he wins 5, hell yeah for me. So that will do it for this episode of the Hog Talk podcast. I am Porter Hayes. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for in the comment section for rocking tonight. Y'all are rock stars. Appreciate every single one of you. Stay tuned for the new news that has to deal with Doggett Freightliner and Resident News Network. You might be seeing us again this week. We'll announce that soon. But if not,